Usually, when businesses are just starting out, it's hard to know who your target audience is because you don't have an existing target or a customer base to work off. You don't have a lot of data. You are just starting off and starting to collect some information about your audience. So, how would you know who your target audience is? So, that's what I'm going to talk about today. Just going to quickly give an idea of what you could do to form or create a target audience for your brand before you actually start investing your resources and efforts into your marketing plans. You have an existing business, you have an existing audience. You can use tools like Google Analytics, you can use your social media platforms, your insights like Facebook Insights or your Instagram Insights to learn more about your audience, the type of people that are visiting your page, the type of people that are interested in clicking on your links and your products. But when you are just starting off, you have nothing. You have nobody that comes to your page, you have nobody that comes to your website. Your goal is then to go out and find those people. There is a couple things that you can do when you are just starting off and looking for your first customer or your target. But before we get into those strategies and tactics, I just want to kind of explain why it is important to know your target audience. I know you're like, why should I care about my target audience? I just want people to buy my products. I just want to start making a sale. And getting to know your target audience is part of you making your first sale. It's going to get you to the point of making your first sale because you can have the right product, but when you market it to the wrong people, you will essentially make no sales. So, if, for example, you are selling ice cream and you're marketing it to somebody that is allergic to ice cream, doesn't like ice cream, or is lactose intolerant, then you're not going to make a sale. But if you market it to people that are into sweet things like desserts, or looking for a new ice cream, or looking for new things to try, um, then you have a higher chance of actually making that sale. That is an example of why target audiences are important. It helps you locate and find your ideal customer. It can also help you understand your ideal customer. So when it comes to digital marketing, we usually use social media platforms to attract our target audience and our ideal customer. So knowing what platforms or where your ideal customer hangs out is the foundation of your marketing. You need to know where you should be targeting your efforts and your resources. So, for example, if you're selling a skincare product, let's say anti aging skincare, you would need to know where to find your ideal target customers. So, you would want to look for the people who are 30 and up who have an interest in anti aging and that actually need it. So, one of the things that you can start doing to find your target audience or to look for your target audience is go to the places where they hang out. So, knowing what platform your target audience hangs out on puts you one step closer to actually connecting with them. So, now you have to be able to communicate with your target audience and provide them with valuable information or valuable goods that has them spark an interest in your brand or product. So that is one example of how knowing your target audience helps you find your target audience, right? Because if we know the age of our audience, we know where they would be hanging out. If we know where they hang out, then we can kind of understand where their interests are and what they like, what some of their hobbies are, and maybe even where they are located. So knowing your target audience helps you locate your customers, but it can also help you communicate your message better. It can help you understand your target, and with that information, you can then create creatives or campaigns to better communicate your message or your brand objectives or mission. So, knowing your target audience or finding it is really the foundation of any business or any brand that you're starting. So, even if you have no customers, there are ways that you can look for your target audience, and we'll get into that now. So I wrote down a couple things and I'm just going to skim through my list as we go so I don't miss anything. But you can start by creating a persona. Like, this is an imaginary persona that you create when you think about your target audience. So let's say you have a product or service, you can then start to imagine who would be most likely be interested in a product or service like this. So some questions to keep in mind or think of when you're brainstorming is, what do these people like? Where do they hang out? Like, what are a couple of their interests, like their hobbies? Are they Gen Zers, millennials, the age group? So you can look at the interest and the demographics of people and kind of see who do you think will be most likely interested in your product. There's lots more to go off of, and I'm just gonna name a couple over here. So yeah, like I said, the age, the location, education level, profession, marital status, um, subcultures, what do these people like to read, watch. So based on these interests, you can then create a profile. So with that profile, you can then have a what we call intentional marketing. So now you can reach your customers or your target audience with intention. You don't have to guess who will like your product or who do you think is going to buy your product. You have an idea of who is going to buy it and you present that product or service to them. So this is what you can do when you're just starting off, right? You don't have anybody, so you're trying to figure out who is going to like it. Another thing that you can do is start researching your competitors. Don't be scared of your competition. You can learn from them. You can see what doesn't work for them and change it, make it better, or do what they did but do it in a different way. So don't be scared to look at your competitors and don't be discouraged when you have competitors. You can then learn, you can take their information and put your own twist to it and make it better, make it different. So, a couple of questions that you can have in mind when you're researching your competitors is, who are their target audience? What are they doing to succeed? Are they even successful at what they're doing? What strategies are they using? What platforms are they using? Are they, using Facebook the most, Instagram, Pinterest? Are they not marketing at all? What are they doing, and how can you do the same? How can you do it better? How can you do it different? So study your competitors, and that brings me to the next point, which is study trends. Study industry trends. Trends come and go, but as they come and go, you can learn a lot from them. You can actually see what type of people are attracted to those type of trends, what makes them be attracted to those type of trends, and what how does the trend relate to what you have to offer. Sometimes trends can be very similar to the services and products that you're offering, and this can help you a lot because it can help you understand where your competitors are using their efforts, where they're placing their efforts and their resources, and it can save you a lot of wasted money, a lot of wasted time. And that is my apartment buzzer. Every time somebody walks in, you guys will hear that. It's nothing I can do about it. I just live in a noisy building and you can hear everything. And yeah, sometimes it's super annoying. But yeah, so your target audience can tell you a lot about how to market your product, and sometimes it can even help you alter your product. If you see that, okay, this is not working for you, then you can make changes to what you're offering. You can switch up your brand, you can rebrand. Don't stay stuck and don't feel like because you started this, you have this in a certain way that you have to finish it in a certain way. You can alter, you can change, you can grow, you can evolve. You don't have to stick to the same thing if it isn't working. If it So those are the three things that you can do when you are starting your business from nothing, when you have no target audience or any audience whatsoever. You can create a persona, and with a persona I mean you can make up a prospect customer. You can imagine what your consumer likes. You can start with some interest or demographics, and I named a couple for you guys, such as age, gender, profession, income. And based on those characteristics, you can then create a imaginary customer and focus your marketing efforts towards those types of people that match that persona. Another thing that we mentioned is market research, market and competitor research, where you are looking at your competitors and seeing what they're doing, seeing what works for them, if it's succeeding or if it's not. What can you do different? How can you take what they're doing, make it better, and do it different? Another thing that we mentioned was trends, industry trends. How can you use the trends and implement it in what you're doing? And like we said, sometimes trends come along and they're very similar to the products and services that you offer. And that's an opportunity for you to learn what the next person is doing, how they're doing it, and how you can jump on that trend. As I'm filming this, Barbie is actually trending. And I see that a lot of people are jumping on the Barbie trend. So a lot of brands are actually trying to collab with Barbie. You can actually see ads online that mention Barbie because Barbie is trending. It's exposed. Everywhere you're looking, you will see Barbie. So you see a lot of businesses and a lot of brands hopping on that and trying to take advantage of that. So get creative, see what's trending and how you can take what's trending and implement it in what you're doing when it comes to creating your own marketing strategy.